Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the Goulamirian versus Ramirez DAZN preview. As Arsen Goulamirian, the undefeated cruiserweight, WBA cruiserweight champion of the world at 200 pounds, makes the next defense of his title against the former super middleweight world champion Gilberto Ramirez. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So before we get into the main event, let's look at the undercard. Really only one fight stands out, and that's Alexis Rocha, the former serious welterweight contender, is going to bounce back from the dominating loss that he suffered last year against Giovanni Santillan, where he got knocked out, suffering the second loss of his career. Major setback as he tries to bounce back against Frederick Lawson, who just fought and lost to Virgil Ortiz in January. So it's going to be interesting to see how Alexis Rocha bounces back from that defeat. I still think Rocha's got some talent and he could be effective. He's a decent fighter, but and Frederick Lawson is a good opponent for him to face off against to try to, you know, bounce back. So I think we're going to see him score a knockout victory in the middle to later rounds and, you know, bounce back nicely for Alexis Rocha, but we'll see. But I think he'll get the win. But the main event, you have Arsen Goulamirian, the undefeated WBA cruiserweight champion of the world, set to battle the former super middleweight world champion Gilberto Ramirez as he fights for only a second time in his third different weight class here at 200-pound cruiserweight, and he gets an opportunity to fight for a world title. It's a very intriguing matchup. You have Goulamirian, who's undefeated, never tasted defeat, 27-0, 19 knockouts. Coming in here, he's the more established cruiserweight fighter, but he's only fought one time since 2019. In 2022, he returned after a 3-year layoff and scored a nice unanimous decision win over Alexei Igorgov, but he hasn't fought since then. It's been a year and a half now since he, close to a year and a half since he's been in the ring. So, and prior to that, it was a 3-year layoff. So, gonna be interesting to see how he fights in this one, how he looks. He's giving up an inch and a half of height, or actually I think it's an inch and a half of reach, I'm sorry. And he's given up about 2 inches. I think it's 2 inches or an inch and a half in height advantage, I'm sorry, going in against Ramirez. So Ramirez is the taller, longer fighter, but not by a lot. Ramirez, again, not the more natural cruiserweight here, and again, that's what makes this an interesting fight. But he's definitely the more experienced fighter. He's a former champ at 168, 45-1 in his career. This is his second fight at cruiserweight. He's coming off of a nice win over Joe Smith Jr. over 10 rounds in 2023. That was his first fight since suffering his only pro defeat, a one-sided 12-round decision loss to Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight. So, is Ramirez the real deal at cruiserweight here is the big question. And how is Goulamirian going to look after such a long layoff in between fights? So, we're going to see. But my official prediction is I'm going with Ramirez by a decision here. I think Ramirez is going to outwork, outbox, or just basically out-hustle Arsen Goulamirian. He's going to take him into those late rounds and pick up the work rate. I think he's going to come in great shape. Goulamirian has a chance to land something big, and I'm really going to be intrigued to see how Ramirez handles a big punch. But Ramirez is a big guy naturally, and I think he's coming into this one hungry. I think he's going to get the victory and become a 2-division world champ. I got a unanimous decision win for Gilberto Ramirez, but I would not be surprised if Arsen Goulamirian pulls this one out, knocks out Gilberto Ramirez, or scores a close decision win here. So we'll see what happens. But that's this Saturday, March 30th on DAZN. Goulamirian versus Ramirez for the WBA Cruiserweight Championship of the World, and Alexis Rocha against Frederick Lawson in a welterweight contest on the undercard. Make sure you check it out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.